We have entered into week 2 of free content for Dungeons and Dragons, so I wanted to take a little time, as discussed, rather than going through everything day by day and making 5 videos to cover things not everybody really wants to talk about. I thought I'd make a weekly wrap-up covering everything that's come out thus far. So if you want to see what all the modules and things that were released from Wizards of the Coast this week, stay tuned. I mean, it's free, guys. You should just watch it. Anyway, what's going on, folks? Ted from Nerd Immersion here, and let's jump right into it. So if you jump over here, you can see we're at the free material web page on Wizards of the Coast website. Monday, April 13th, they released the 5th in the series of Season 1 of Adventurers League. So again, I'm not going to belabor that too much. That's the ones that I'm least excited about. We can go over a little bit about what the adventure is and then move on. There is some actually really good stuff that was released today, and one thing that I thought was kind of funny and probably an oversight, but we'll talk about that when we get there. So this is the original season of the Adventurers League that was released back in like the end of 2014 going into 2015. So what we've had so far is the 1 through 4 adventures. This is number 5. Again, you could download all of these, not run them as Adventurers League, but just have them in your back pocket as encounters, adventures, things to pull ideas from. There's nothing wrong with that. I download a ton of pre-written modules and adventures and things from the DM's Guild or otherwise, and sometimes an encounter sounds really interesting or a mechanic or something, and I end up putting that in my game, and it works out pretty well. So this one is called Courting of Fire. Again, this is a low-level adventure set up for levels 1 through 4, so if you want to upscale it, you'll have to do that on your own. An exiled cultist and his kobold minions are spotted searching for long-forgotten ruins in the Dragonspire Mountains. Rumors say he looks for a precious gift to give to a fearsome dragon that dwells there. What he hopes to attain with his gift is unknown, but he can't be good for the citizens of Flan. And then there's an Umber Hulk coloring page. On day 2, we got The Scroll Thief, Adventure 6. Scholar Square is a relatively quiet corner of Flan, but a series of odd thefts have the headmasters of various schools, I wonder if that's supposed to be various, in the area concerned. The headmaster's pleas for help have gone unanswered by the Black Fist, and the Lord Sage of Flan decided to reach out to you and your kind to bring those responsible to justice. One thing I will say, too, is if you go over to D&D, or to the DM's Guild, it just shows us here, this is the 5th adventure. The 6th one includes a Fantasy Grounds version of it, and it's free, so you can get it both in PDF and in Fantasy Grounds. Also, they released the Sunless Citadel, which is a very good, very fun kind of intro dungeon that was contained in Tales from the Yawning Portal. So it's a very good intro thing, has some kobolds, some fun stuff. I would recommend checking that out. This is the same scenario, though, as the release of Lost Minds of Phandelver last week. It is free on Roll20. It is free on Fantasy Grounds, although it does say available now for a limited time through May 13th on D&D Beyond, Fantasy Grounds, and Roll20. I know for a fact that it's only a limited time on D&D Beyond. I don't know if you download it in Roll20 or Fantasy Grounds, if you get to keep it permanently. Just keep that in mind. And a gelatinous cube coloring page. On Wednesday the 15th, we got Drums in the March, the next series. This one also gives you a Fantasy Grounds version. For the past several nights, drums have been heard on the wind coming from the Twilight Marsh. Each morning, more turn up, missing from nearby farms, leaving only muddy, clawed footprints leading towards the marsh. Can you help find the lost and bring the justice to the abductors? More importantly, though, you get 2 very, very good DM's Guild adept things here in the Lost City of Mezro and Dragon Heist Forgotten Tales. This is the ideal one. If you're going to pick out any, probably grab these 2. So, Lost City of Mezro, again, potential spoilers for Tomb of Annihilation, potential spoilers for Dragon Heist. Part of the world in Tomb of Annihilation is the existence, there's the city of Mezro is mentioned a few times. There's, I believe it's the Spell Plague, there's some history around it, and one of the characters, NPCs you may meet, Artist Simber, is looking for his wife, who I think is explained. I don't know if you ever actually get that information in the course of the adventure, but basically, she was in the city of Mezro, which essentially disappeared with the spell plague, and that's kind of his whole motivation. This is kind of dealing with Mezro returning. And it says adventure for characters of 1 to 16. It's not a series of adventures that will take you from level 1 to level 16, which is what I got when I read that originally. Also, I just noticed this here. See how these are for a limited time through April 21st, April 18th, and whatnot? They're PDFs. Download them now. Get them for free. And it says through April 18th, by the way, here on Lost Cities of Mezro. I just downloaded it for free now, so that might be a little bit slow. But you can see this is a 145-page document. It's very well written. And if we go through the beginning here, you can see... Where is it? So there's 3 chapters here, Heart of the Wild, then the Risen Mists, and then Maze of Shadows. And I think it tells you... suggested level, right? So part 4, the Ruins of Mezro, those are like encounters you can toss in anywhere. It also does have several NPCs, some from Tomb of Annihilation, some not. This new monster section contains brand new monsters not contained in any other book. Right, Blightwalker, you've got these... I thought Drakators were added, but I guess not. This Gloomwing I definitely knew was new as a Goliath warrior. An idea of a trap that's living. We have living spells we got in Eberron. This is an idea of a sentient living trap. Poison Dusk Lizard Folk. I'm a big fan of Lizard Folk from old editions, and there was a variety of different kinds. So we now have a return of the Poison Dusk variety. A Mud Maw, which is... I wish there was art for it. But all it says is it lurks beneath the surface. And basically it's like a crocodile kind of a thing. When they strike, they use their rubbery tentacles to pin their prey before latching on with their powerful jaws. Sounds to me like an Otyugh, but I have no idea what it is because there's no art. A Priest of Entropy, and a Zill, which is an old monster, a weird red 4-armed monster from previous editions. Most of these are from other books, this Monsters and Threat section, but some of these I think are unique. I'm not sure. There's 2 new magic items in Oathbinder and Spare. They are sentient magic items, which are very cool. A new background for your character, the Heretic background, and a new subclass, the Entropy Domain Cleric. I don't really like it. I think it has some cool stuff, but I think it's definitely underpowered. You can see right here, Detect Magic, Inflict Wounds, Gentle Repose, Spiritual Weapon, Dispel Magic, Protection from Energy, Blight, Death Ward, Circle of Power, and Hollow. I think most of those are spells that clerics get already. It only gets one thing at level 1, which seems kind of less than most other clerics, and it's just advantage on death saving throws. I mean, I think you gotta give them at least proficiency in armor or weapons or something. You're going to just give them advantage on death saving throws. Here's advantage on a thing that in an ideal world you never encounter. It's Tomb of Annihilation, so you probably will, but you get my point. Your Channel Divinity is an action. You emanate an aura in a 15-foot radius. It lasts until the end of your next turn, so very short. And all it does is if someone attempts to cast a spell while within your 15-foot aura between now and the end of your next turn, they have to make a con save. If they fail, the spell slot fails to cast and is wasted. Seems like this should be a minute, not until the end of your next turn, at the very least. 6 is Entropic Retaliation. When you or an ally within 30 feet of you takes damage from a spell, you can use your reaction to cause the caster to make a con save. If they fail, they gain a level of exhaustion. I like that. That's an always-on thing with no downside. So that's cool, but that could be potentially fatal against spellcasters. If they do this a couple of times and you have enough reactions, you can just kill them with exhaustion. 8 is Potent Spellcasting. That's fine as it is. And then I actually like Emissary of Entropy, the 17th level ability. You have advantage on saving throws against spells. In addition, when you succeed on a saving throw against a spell, you gain 5 temporary hit points for each slot level of the spell. I like that. I think I might have been more interested in less, rather than you getting temp HP, maybe you dealing damage to them. Maybe instead of the con save at level 6 for exhaustion, it deals damage to them. And then there's some handouts. Second up is Dragon Heist Forgotten Tales, which I also says it's through April 18th. I got it today on the 19th, so take that with what you will. But what's interesting is what it gives you is stuff that a lot of people don't realize. So you can see here has 28 5-star ratings. So chapter 1 is a new intro chapter to Waterdeep Dragon Heist. Again, like I said, potential spoilers, but one that focuses on the cult of Asmodeus and Bregan Dierth rather than a war between the Xanathar's Guild and the Zentarum. So one, if you're going to be playing Waterdeep Dragon Heist and this is something that people have not played before, or they've heard about it, or they've watched somebody else stream it and they want to play it now, you can totally flip the script on them by running this intro encounter and changing things up. That I very much like. Again, especially if people have played it, or even if they've played it already and you want to just give them a new experience. Or, again, it's been out for a while, people have maybe bought and read the book, so they're familiar with it, and maybe now you want to run it, but you don't want them to have, like, this, metagame knowledge. You could get around that. Chapter 2 is, again, potential spoilers. Trollskull Alley explodes with the fireball. This is a new perpetrator of the explosion, so it's a whole new mystery. Again, very cool. Chapter 3 is a new vault of dragons beneath the streets of Waterdeep for the characters to plunder, and probably the most critical point is Chapter 4 here. The chapter provides another new vault of dragons and an above-ground bank. Use this vault to end your adventure with a classic bank heist. I don't know if you know this, okay? I don't know if you know this, but there is no heist in Waterdeep Dragon Heist. There is no, like, Ocean's 11, let's go break in and steal the thing. That's not a part of the game, even though it's in the name. So you want to put the heist back in Dragon Heist. You either get a third-party module, you make one up yourself, or maybe you use this one. Again, probably do this one. Okay, back to this. So, and then we get a Mind Flayer coloring page. On Thursday, on Thursday we got Trees Tell, the 8th adventure from Season 1. Despite the shaky alliance that exists with the elves of the Quivering Forest, they do not suffer trespass in the realm lightly, especially from common folk from nearby Flan. A woodworker's recent blunder into the forest might set off a diplomatic incident. Can you help find him and mollify the aggravated elves? And a flump coloring page. Everybody loves a flump, so that's cool. And then on the 17th, which was just Friday, Outlaws of the Iron Route, the 9th in the Season 1 adventures. The Iron Route, an important trade route east of Flan, is beset by competing bandits. An exiled Blackfist officer leads his band of mercenaries turned cloaked ruffians, while a mysterious dragonborn sorcerer commands screaming savages from the north. In this war over the trade route, the beleaguered merchants are the victims, and Flan suffers from a lack of supplies. It's up to the adventurers to strike out and reopen this vital route by authors, to go into the author part, and a DDAL coloring page. And I missed one, actually. Maybe it was, or where was it? Oh, boy, I missed it. Where did it go? Heroes of something or other. Dragon Heist, Heroes of the Realm. Oh, here it is. I missed it. It's on Thursday here. Heroes of Hesiod. The following coloring page is available for download. And it says, plus you might want to check out our free Monster Slayers Hero Hesiod Adventures for younger gamers. Heroes of Hesiod requires no previous knowledge of D&D. All you need to play is included in the adventure, aside from a few dice and pencils. Playtime can be as little as 15 minutes, as long as an hour. Depends on how many monsters you run. If you go and look at it, actually, it's pretty cool. It's written out here, and it has a bunch of interesting stuff, right? It's designed to not only be for younger adventurers, but to also teach them skills, like math skills, reading skills, writing skills, problem solving, creative thinking. Very cool stuff. But if you notice this right here, it was released on December 9th, or added to their catalog December 9th of 2013. It's technically 4th edition rules, but it's really system agnostic. But the part that I thought was the most interesting was when I looked through it at the very end. It references going to community.wizards.com/book club. That was when Wizards of the Coast used to have forums that were in very big use, as far as I'm concerned, that were just completely shut down at one point when Wizards of the Coast decided that their forums weren't worth it anymore and no one needed them. So they shut those down, and that obviously link doesn't work anymore. So anyway, folks, that's it for week 2 of free Dungeons & Dragons free content. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you were able to go out and get some of that content for free while it was available. If not, go jump on that right now, because it's definitely worth it. You can't say no to free D&D content, right? I mean, even if you don't use it, you've got it to use at some point in case you need it. So once again, a huge shout out to all of my patrons over on Patreon. I really do appreciate everyone who's coming out to support the channel. It helps me save my workload by getting to pick what the next videos are gonna be. So there's links in the descriptions for that, as well as a link in the description to the Wizards of the Coast free material website where you can go and click to get all the links that I covered today. Wow, that was out of focus for a second. So thank you all so much for watching. Oh, I guess if you haven't subscribed, do that and ring the bell. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.